Nationalist plans to tighten up Airbnb-style holiday lettings go against the EU's own laws and the party's own principle of being tied to the bloc. The SNP-led administration is bringing forward plans which will require Airbnb hosts to obtain a license before letting out a holiday cottage on a short-term basis. SNP ministers also propose that councils can introduce control areas, where such lets can be restricted or banned altogether. It comes following a stark rise in the number of Airbnb accommodation in Edinburgh, prompting concerns there may not be enough housing for the city's own residents if the numbers kept growing. In a letter to the Scottish Housing Minister Kevin Stewart, Carlos Villarro-Lasson, Secretary-General of the European Holiday Home Association, warned the plans do not respect the EU's core principles. Carlos Villarro-Lasson added in the letter, the European Holiday Home Association, which is a united voice for short-term rentals (STR), would like to address its deep concerns regarding rushed legislative process on the Scottish Licensing Order and the Control Area Regulations for Short-Term Rentals (STR). The United Kingdom has left the European Union on 31 January 2020, however, taking into account Scotland's positive attitude towards the EU, we would like to highlight that the proposed laws are against the European Union's law and guidance. We urge the Scottish Government to delay rushed legislative process and instead of applying unnecessary and unjustified measures of last resort. Mr. Lasson stressed they should push the plans and wait for the outcome of a study by the EU Commission on holiday lets. The policy is also a stark contrast to the European Union Continuity Scotland Bill, which was recently granted royal assent. The legislation gives SNP ministers powers to align Scottish laws with those of the EU after Brexit instead of going against Brussels. The SNP administration in Edinburgh has been keen to stay linked to Brussels after 62% of the country voted to stay in the EU during the 2016 Brexit vote. Constitution Secretary Mike Russell said the new bill will mean, on devolved matters, Scottish law can keep in line with those in Europe. Annie Wells MSP, Scottish Conservative local government spokesperson, added, our tourism industry has been devastated by the COVID pandemic and needs the SNP government to support it right now rather than hitting them with further regulations. This legislation is going to punish rural communities at the behest of the SNP's push to appease their voters in the Central Belt.